Okay. So I can say officially, good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing great. The thing is, let's start from Zoom recording. The problem of Zoom is it's going to stay there for 150 days. What if I want to review the stuff in summer? So I cannot access, right? So that is why, apart from the access that you have to Zoom, I'm going to upload the content, and I'm going to share the link in a playlist. I'm going to upload them into YouTube. So you're going to have access 24/7 whenever you want from now on. The best is to uh, be in all the classes that we have together. But if life happens, still you have a chance to go and review the content, right? The quizzes that we have, everything that we share in the class to get credit for those quizzes and so on, we need to be present in the class. So um, it is not acceptable and it's not fair to those who come to the class if somebody says that, hey, you know what, I'm going to just watch the video and I'm going to submit the quiz separately. This is not what we are going to do. Apart from it, if we go to the course outline, would you please type 3 if you can see the course outline? Lovely. Excellent. So I want you, please, at your convenience, go and read the course outlines detail. It's not a time to just go one at a time, but look at here. It says that we have 3 tests, so we do not have technically midterm and final, but similar to midterm and final, we have tests that they really value a lot. So test 1, test 2, and test 3. And we have quizzes and labs, right? This is how they manage to have these assessments. And if we go down, it tells us about how we are going to work on each content. For instance, at the beginning, week number 1, we need to go to the general concepts, algorithms, for instance, and flowcharts, different types of flowcharts. What are they? And the assignment number 1 is going to be released by the end of tonight, and you have 6 days to finish it. Let's just say next week, Saturday is going to be the due for that. And you see here the assessments are mentioned in this column. And it says that the due is in week number 2. And for instance, here we have lab, test 1, lab, and so on. But if you see here, clearly, we do not have something like quiz per se. And the reason for that is a quiz is something that should be kind of surprise, and we should be always ready for participating in a quiz. And it could happen at the end of the session just to review and see what we have gained in the session. So active participation means a lot. And in the class, in physical classes that I have, in-person classes, I ask people to turn off their phone or put them on the airplane mode. Let me just do it exactly. It's already on the airplane mode, and not get distracted from anything. So collaborating together, working together in a session means a lot. And the whole idea of having these sessions is that. So is there any question till this moment?
I have.
Please.
Since our classes will be on Saturdays, and we know like the weekends we usually book like some festivities, family reunions, stuff like that. And I was wondering, like you said that like the quizzes and everything else, they are held during the classes or after the class, and sometimes they're caught us by surprise. I was just wondering if we had like an event to participate and we couldn't really be active in the whole time of the whole duration of the class, would we have to tell you what types of accommodations we could get? If not, or what's the penalty and et cetera?
That's a good question. And because it's a tough question, I want Michael to answer. What do you think, Michael, about this question?
Well, I mean, you've already mentioned that attendance is kind of mandatory. And I mean, my personal opinion, this is, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, but if the family event, I mean, your family's going to be there, assuming every day, you've got one chance at this. I know all my other classes, you need 5 days to submit proper documentation, and it's got to be for a valid reason, like somebody died. If you just want to hang out with people on the weekend and miss class, I don't think that's on par. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Um, who was your friend who you mentioned that is good in Java? I've forgotten the name. I'm very bad at names. You said that.
Who, me?
Oh, yeah. So, can you please, now your turn, you answer this question, and we are going to get to Toby, right? Toby, can you hear me? Thank you, Michael, for sharing your opinion.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. What is your opinion about this question?
Could you repeat the question? I'm having like some difficulties with.
Okay, Clena, can you please repeat your question?
No, my question was that sometimes, like, cause since it's this class is held on a weekend and we have some pop-up quiz and everything else, I was wondering if we have an event, if we have a religious event, if something happens and we are not able to participate, of course, with valid reason, what accommodations could we get? What penalties are we getting? I just wanted to know.
Mhm. What's your opinion, Toby? Anyone wants to step in and share their opinion? And I'm gonna tell my answer as well.
I could chime in. I would say if it's just a one-off week, then that's fine. But if it's consistently every Saturday, then you might have to reconsider the course, right? Try to see if you could take it on a different time, get it switched to fit well with your schedule. But yeah, if it's like I said, if it's just a one-off, then that's fine. If it's consistent every Saturday, then yes, I would reconsider the class.
Yeah, uh, that's a very um, good comment on that. Thank you, Joseph. The reality, I'm gonna just share just something, and maybe I rarely share that, and it goes back to the thing that happened to me when I came to Canada. My intention was, okay, what should I do? Do I want to continue what I did in the country that I grew up, like just 9 to 5 work? And I always loved to be in academia. So for doing that, I needed to continue my education. I had lots of struggles to get my TOEFL score and lots of other things. And anyway, after a year that I dedicated all my time to learn English and get prepared for the exam, I remember I was super happy when I got to 93. and I was eligible uh, to get to Ryerson because the cutoff was 93. And I went to the chair office, the chair of the department. His name is Ali Reza Sadagian, Dr. Ali Reza. But 2 weeks before that, just 3 weeks before that, when I got my answer, I called my family and said, yes, finally, I could get the result. And my father was happy, my mom was happy. So it was like pavement of my road to where I wanted to be. A week after that, it was my father's birthday. I called, he didn't reply. I called my mom, said that we are going, for instance, to the east. I called my sister. She said we are going to the west. I realized that something is fishy. And I was like, where is that? And they said, why are you asking? And I said, I'm serious. Where is that? And they said that he passed away. And I remember the heaviness of those moments. Still, I feel them. I just went to a park, hugged the tree, started crying. And after 2 weeks, I went to Ryerson and sat in front of Ali Reza, brought all the documents that I want to start computer science. And he said that what makes you feel that you are eligible? I was like, because it's just 2 weeks that my father passed away and I'm here. So I think that learning is a kind of dedication that we promise to ourselves. If we say that we are in this class, we are in this class. When we start, we promise to each other that when 4 months pass, and when we look back, we see that it's really worth to be together and learn something from each other. It's a promise. Well, I know life happens. I remember the time that I had a surgery. I had lipoma on my back, and it was on Thursday, complete anesthesia, unconscious. The next day, Friday, I had class at Centennial in the morning, and I was in the class while 20 stitches on my back. So this is me. I don't want everybody to be Reza, but I think that this is a kind of game that we started together and we want to be successful. That's my answer. And the grades for me, it's like a game that we get more score. It's just incentives for us to see that, okay, let's get more, instead of having this stress that, oh, we have this test. No, let's go and see how much we can get from that test. You know, that kind of thing. I hope I could answer your concern.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you. And let's go to the next thing together. Guys, you're going to have, all of you are going to have something similar. I always change, and that is my habit. For instance, I already have changed some of the contents that you have, but before anything, because some of us might be new in this environment, so you can see everybody could have something similar. I'm not gonna say exactly like this. Can you see something similar to this? If that is what you can see, please give me the first high five. Type 5. Illuminate. Can you see something like that? Yes, Michael. Thank you. How about the rest? Thank you, Toby. Sean, thank you. Merci. Glenna. Okay. Is there anyone who has any struggle? If you have any struggle, you just get to bicentennial. There's illuminate icon here. If you click, it's going to open this page for you. And if you click on the course, you can see something similar to that, right? Okay, I'm going to just wait for a couple of seconds.
Sorry, Reza, were you looking for the sandbox thing that's on the main page? That's what I thought you were looking for.
Oh no,
The
sandwiches. Yeah. Do
so
you see something like this, Joseph?
yeah. So I see my Centennial, and you said you wanted us to go to the Luminate.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. And then
And do you see something similar to this that has
As-
your courses?
oh, you mean like for COMP100? Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Okay.
pretty much
Oh, I
what
thought you were looking for the sandbox, the one on the bottom, the yellow one. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no,
nope.
no, no,
Okay. Okay.
this one. Okay.
Okay.
And if you click on that, please, you can see some of the stuff like this. And the thing is, let me tell you, there is a beloved professor named Narendra. He did amazing job. If you see, we have week 1 all the way to the end of the semester. So he did a great job to go to all the content and provided the slides. Plus, he has provided the videos that you can just click and listen to and watch the video that he has provided for us. So one of the ways that I strongly recommend to Reza and other friends that they are new into coding is not a bad idea that before any class that we have together, go and just review the content that Narendra has provided. So in the class that we are going to have together, you have some background and knowledge and foundation. So we are going to build upon that. That's the beauty of life, Michael. Don't worry. Thanks for letting us know. And the thing is, if you see here the course orientation, the course outline, if we click on that, you see that the course orientation that Narendra was kind to provide for us is there, and the course outline the same way. But if you see that we have something that is called all-in-one, and I have already provided some of the stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know why it just got disordered. I'm going to make the order fine. Yeah, so 0, then A, B, and C, and D. Hopefully D. Okay, I think that if you refresh your page, you're gonna see something like this. Huh? Can you please confirm that you see such a thing on your screen? If yes, please type 1. Merci. Guys, one of the reasons is asking you to type. Some of my friends at the beginning, they found that kind of strange, but later it's a kind of like connection that we say, yes, I'm following, right? That kind of thing gives me motivations. And look at this one, please. Here, the course info we have already covered. There is one file that I mentioned it there, and that's ebooks, right? So I received that question a lot that, hey, Reza, what are the books that we need to purchase for this course? Let me just share something with you. Okay, everybody, can you please download this book? It takes a few seconds. Whenever you finish downloading and you can open, just take a few seconds. Done. Okay. This is the main book that is mentioned inside the course outline. And you know, you don't need to buy it. The other thing is, and I'm going to share the updated version pretty soon. One of the things that is a little bit time consuming is taking any file which is uploaded already there out and try to replace it with something. So that is why I provided something here, which is called zip file all-in-one. I'm going to upload a zip file that when you extract, you're going to have a duplicate of what I have on my computer. Does that make sense? So you don't need to worry about anything, any updates. Every 2-3 weeks, I'm going to update a new zip file for you from the beginning. So you have a kind of full history of my all updates. You just need to rely on the latest version. That's it. And you might say, Reza, what if this is not the book that I can relate to? I need something. I have provided something. Can everybody please click on this link? This is the one. We had something, still we have it, but it's not like before. It says that best 10 Z library alternatives for 2024. Oh yes, Pooja, the zip folder is already empty because I'm telling you why. Because I already have everything in all-in-one. When I do some updates, I'm not gonna take, for instance, this file down and replace it. It's gonna be a kind of very much time consuming. I'm going to provide the latest version inside zip file. But at the moment, you have everything in all-in-one. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's get back to this part, guys. How about this? Let's click on PDF Drive, the first one together. And there is a place here. One of our friends, I think that Evan, said that he learned Python, and there were some other friends that they said they learned Python. So imagine that we want to find Python books. And I typed there, guys, how many books? I have counted, don't worry. So they are 20 in this page. Joseph, is it enough, you think? 20 books, recent.
Are you saying it's off in terms of like, should there be more?
And 20 multiply 80.
Oh,
right?
geez. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it's going to be 1,600 books about this one. And how about this? C#. And I'm going to search for that. So, Michael, it's only 2,827,000 and some. Is it enough for one semester, guys?
I don't know. We might have to find more.
Okay, so I guess that you are going to say, so that is why I have provided some other resources as well. And joking aside, if you go to this is just one, the first one. And if you go down, it's going to talk about the other resources. You can just click on them and find all the books. Why I'm saying that, guys, I remember the time that I was a student, I needed to be careful about every single cent that I wanted to spend. So we have all these resources. But you might say, Reza, I'm not a person that wants to read the book. I want to learn differently, right? For instance, watching YouTube videos and so on. So for that reason, let's go and find out something different. Let me just open this. Yay, here it is. Okay, in all-in-one, if you see, I have provided something which is called resources and references. I updated the library part. And you see here, it says that C# programming, just one video. Let's just see what we have. Look at this. Okay. This gentleman is Giraffe Academy. He's awesome. He runs Giraffe Academy. And we have another one is Bro Code. That is just 40 minutes, but it's a kind of like compact version. Not everything just for the beginners, but let's go to the next. Look at this one. So it's an introduction, but what I wanted to say that it is like having tons of videos, right? This is something that you can do a filtering, and it talks about all the micro topics that we could have. It broke it down to 40 some topics, but somebody might say that I prefer to have a full course and start, and whenever I feel that I need a break, pause it, come back, and so on. So this is another one that I have provided for you, and I'm not gonna take your precious time to go through every one of them. You see that this is a full course C# by Bro Code. He's just amazing. I strongly recommend, aside from what you learn from Narendra and what we have together, just start working on that. And let me just ask our experienced fellow programmers, Michael, can you please help me? What is your strategy when you want to learn any new language? When you want to watch something and do coding, do you, for instance, sit back and watch the whole 4 hours like a movie, and then? So, what is your strategy?
So I'm a bit of a mix. I digest a lot of information all at once. Compiler's always open. I very much live by my errors, log everything, start your code. I mean, you have to start somewhere. Log your output, see what you got, and build off that. That's my strategy for everything. Log everything, look at your errors, correct them, build. And as far as I'm concerned, code is code. Like every language, they're all different. They all have their little tweaks, but I mean, code is code. Once you get into it, you'll be able to read any code. It's just learning the different streets. Like moving to a new city, everybody, they're all names and such, right? So you move to a new city, new language. It's just a matter of learning the names and finding out where you got to go. But yeah, I swear, log everything. That's the best way.
Awesome, lovely. I very much like that. And anybody else, guys? Have you ever? Now we have Mohammed. Anybody else? Have you ever tried to learn something from YouTube in terms of coding? What is your strategy? And I'm going to share my own experience. And yeah, anyone wants to share their opinion? Don't be shy. Okay, guys, we have volunteers to share and we have voluntold. So, Toby, what is your strategy?
My strategy, personally, is to try out the code. Like whatever you're watching, I would say to just follow along with the video and see. Or if you don't learn that way, is to like what Michael said, like digest it a little bit and then try. I mean, if you just watch the video, for me personally, before I just tried watching the video and then exiting it and then trying and then I get lost. I think if you do it alongside, it's easier that way so that you can see your errors and yeah, that's what
Nice, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and guys, you see that this is the class that we learn from each other. You can Google coding, but you cannot Google experiences. So these are valuable things that we learn from, for instance, Toby, Michael, and a lot of our team members. Actually, let me tell you what is my way of learning, especially coding. Um, the thing is, I remember I always just had one monitor, like laptop or desktop or something. The first time that I discovered, wow, it's interesting to connect computer or laptop to another monitor, and you have two monitors. In one of them you can do something, in the other one, then my life totally changed. So I strongly recommend that if you can, uh, borrow another laptop and have two, borrow another monitor and have two screens. That's the best for learning any language. And the way that it works is you're going to use smaller monitor, for example, for your um, YouTube video. You watch it, you pause it when you see something, and you start typing the code, right? And you try it. You see that it works, it doesn't work. You just have that kind of a struggle, and during that struggle, you build up your foundation for that language. The problem of, okay, guys, is it clear so far? If it is clear, what I said, what Michael shared, so for instance, to have one extended monitor and just watch your YouTube on one of them and start coding on the other one. If it is clear, please type one. Lovely. Excellent. Merci. Okay, so let's just get back to that file. So you see that I have provided, and I said that this one is 9 hours, this one is 1 hour, this one is 24 hours. And I think that this one is by bro code as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. But anyway, you just need to multiply the time of each video at least to something like 5. So if it is 4 hours, it takes 20 hours at least minimum to just practice that. You need to pause it constantly and just work. The other thing is, what if I want to just go to the advanced topics like the object-oriented, maybe machine learning with C#. Somebody might say that, Reza, do we have machine learning, deep learning in C#? Yes, we do. So these are some resources that I've provided for that. But again, I want to ask question this time. Pooja, can you hear me? Okay, can you open your mic and start explaining? You can pass to next friend. Let me just see the names. To Goma. If you can't, you can just pass it. You can type that pass if you don't have any immediate answer. Imagine that you want to work with a new application. It could be Tableau, Power BI. It could be anything, like even something as simple as installing Office. Huh? So are you going to just jump to a laptop, start installing, downloading the file and start installing? Is it the approach that you have, or what? So you go to install and you just see that and do the installing next, that kind of thing. Okay. Any other opinion? Any different approach? Prerequisites and required settings. Okay. But there are some places that you have some check boxes. Do you know what to do with them? Oh, sometimes. And specifically, I'm pointing at those times that you are not sure about those checkboxes. Okay, guys, what is the best practice when you want to install something that you're not very much sure about? Is there anyone who wants to step in? Guys, this is your class. I'm just moderating.
I would say, Reza, just look it up online first, make sure that it's exactly what you're looking for, and then just follow the installation and then go from there. It's a trial and error. after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much, Pooja. Uh, if I just go there and try it, I remember, I think that Michael can admit that as well. Michael, did you install Oracle SQL like 10, 15 years ago? And sometimes if we did some mistakes, I ended up reinstalling the whole Windows.
Oh, well, I never got as far as having to reinstall the operating system, but yeah, several times back in the day installing SQL and that, or SQL as you called it. Yeah, it was tricky sometimes, and it was sometimes it was a little bit ridiculous, but yeah, you would have to start over. You wouldn't have access to your server application, so, your password somehow didn't get set or something to the username for root, and sometimes just redoing the configuration was not enough. Like you had to rip that puppy out, make sure there was nothing trailed, blanket RAID out, and then start over again. But yeah, it was pretty tricky sometimes back then. Things are pretty much straightforward these days. You just got to watch out you don't install the extra stuff, like, hey, our free software, you want this too? And everybody just goes click, 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 right? And next thing you know, they have new software that they didn't actually want. So, but yeah, that's my say.
And especially whenever, for instance, you want to install something as simple as PDF Reader, and you don't realize that there is one box there that says that free trial 14 days for the complete version of Adobe Acrobat. And then you accidentally check that, and after 2 weeks, okay, now you have to pay. I was like, hey, I didn't mean to just buy that one or try that one. So one of the things that actually that's my suggestion. Correct me, Michael, if you have any better approach. I'm the kind of person that first, if I want to install a Visual Studio, Eclipse, anything, I'm going to just first go and YouTube it, see that what are the steps, just quickly review it. And if I have kind of patient, sometimes I go and say how to install Eclipse, and then I just see the PDF, the steps, and especially those check boxes. I'm very much consider about those check boxes. If you just miss them, as Michael said, nowadays you have tons of ways to fix it later. But why should we bother when we can just do it properly at the first attempt, right? So that is my approach, and that is why I'm saying that for the next week, say how to. You see that install, guys. Can you imagine? Even for Ideal, it shows that install. What do we call it? Visual Studio. And it's going to show you tons of things. For this one, I prefer to use the one that are more recent. And you see that it takes something like 8 minutes. Why I'm saying that, guys, many of us are new into programming. So my suggestion is look at it as a kind of challenge. So challenge yourself to install Visual Studio by yourself, and not Visual Studio Code. And what is the difference between these two? I don't know. So now it's the time for us to ask our friend, Michael, who is our friend?
All of us.
Oh, yeah, that apart from all of us, our
Oh, well,
virtual
then
friend.
you are a friend. You're
Well,
our
thank you
friend.
very much. ChatGPT. How about that? Let's ask ChatGPT, what is the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? And guys, sorry, my bad. I didn't have time to search that. So please go and search what is the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. And quickly help me. You have 5 minutes.
I can tell you right now if you want.
Pardon me?
I said I can tell you right now if you want.
Thank you very much. How about this, Michael? Let's our team members try, and you're gonna mark who's gonna be the best. How about that?
All right. Do I get cookies?
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Once, should I say it, or are we gonna write it in? How's the process here?
How about that? It is Sorry, it is 10:36. Let's give our friends 2 minutes. And after that, you're going to be the first one, Kevin. Okay, thank you. Last minute. Okay, Kevin, please.
Visual Studio, because that's what I'm familiar with, is just a full application development platform. So basically everything that you need to start the development of your application, test it, run it, and then you can actually run the application like it would on your operating system. Visual Studio Code, though, is like a text editor. It's no different than your text editor on your computer. It might have a little bit more functionality where you could test errors in your code, but it's no more than just typing in your code and looking at just looking at the line code the entire time. With Visual Studio, you at least have the representation of the application you're developing, and it's a full suite of programs, full suite of what would happen in the Windows environment if it's Visual Studio, with all the libraries, with all the needed plugins that you would be using to run like .NET or anything like that. That's my basic understanding. I don't have enough information to fully explain to the class, so hopefully that's enough.
You have more knowledge compared to me. Awesome. I very much enjoyed it. Let's just go and ask Adavale.
Yes, honestly, like one of my colleagues just said. So what I found here is Visual Studio Code. They are kind of integrated development environment with a full set of tools to solve for software development. So it is more than just coding. So it is used to develop websites, mobile app, and web application as well. It's basically for computer programmers, and Visual Studio is also a good choice for large-scale software development, especially if it's integrated with the .NET framework. On the other hand, Visual Studio Code it's a lightweight code editor that is more flexible and customizable than Visual Studio.
Customizable. Okay.
Yes. So it's a good choice for smaller projects and for quick editors. So Visual Studio Code is more popular for front-end development and for beginners as well.
Just one quick question. I want to practice Python. Which one is the best, Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code?
I use Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So we are going to summarize everything that you guys helped me to learn about this. But at the moment, Hafsa, do you have any opinion? Can you add anything to our friends' ideas? Okay. So let's see. Klena, can you add anything to what our friend said?
I don't know. I don't know programming.
No, it doesn't matter. Did you ask ChatGPT?
No, I did not.
So please do it, because I'm not very good at using ChatGPT. Can you help this old guy? Search what is the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? And which one should I use for learning C#? Which one do you recommend? I want to install it on my computer and I want your opinion about it, okay? So while Klena is going to ask ChatGPT to help us for that, Natalia, could you find anything?
Yes, I could.
Okay.
So as far as I know, Visual Studio is currently only available on Windows computers. It used to be available on Macs as well, but they retired it recently. So the main differences would be that Visual Studio is a full-featured IDE,
What
which
is
would mean
IDE? What is IDE?
a very good question. I forgot. It's too late here.
To integrated development environment.
Development
Yes.
environment. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah,
Thank you.
integrated development environment. Awesome.
Mm.
Okay.
And it's just more comprehensive, has more features, more resource intensive comparing to Visual Studio Code, which is just a code editor.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically it has
Lovely.
more things.
You said it. So Visual Studio Code is something like a code editor, right?
Yes.
While IDE, that Visual Studio by itself, has all the requirements that we need to have. I remember at the time that I wanted to just make a simple application using Visual Studio Code, ASP.NET Core. I started learning ASP.NET Core using Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio. And for simple debugging, I needed to go and find what are the packages that I need to install. While when you go to IDE, to Visual Studio, everything is there, right? IDE like to say you can build full application on code. Studio is better professional tools. Excellent. So now the moment of truth. Well, let's before I ask Michael to say who is the winner of this round, let's just get back to Klena. Could you find anything and add to the things that our friend said?
So ChatGPT said that the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code is that Visual Studio, the full version, the simpler one, is better for larger projects. And it's better for like more advanced projects and has more advanced features. While the Visual Studio Code is on a like more of a lightweight, fast, and is more flexible for C programming. And it's better for many to use under other platforms as well.
That's perfect. Wow. You're the one who said that you don't have any background in programming?
That was me.
Okay, think twice. You said one of the best answers. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Let me just now, Michael, who is the winner in this round?
We all are, because hopefully we all took something from that and we learned something. And as long as we continue to work together, we'll all continue to win.
Excellent. Lovely. That's the best answer ever. And can you please explain what is your opinion and experience using Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code? I told you I wanted to teach, let me confess that. I taught Visual Studio before, and I didn't know that ASP.NET, and I didn't know that it is that much different, ASP.NET and ASP.NET Core. So when I wanted to start, it was totally like a different game ball. I found a series of videos by Microsoft, and I very much enjoyed it. And they started from just text environments. Then the next level, they used Visual Studio Code. And then when we passed all those levels, they said, okay, now this is the Visual Studio that you can just enjoy, and everything that we tried already gathered there. So that was my kind of like level by level going from text environments to Visual Studio Code and finally Visual Studio, that everything is already there. That was my experience. What can you teach us about your experience in these two environments?
Anything you want to compile, anything, any intensive applications, you're going to use Studio for. It's just a better choice. Use code for a lot of guys will say you're a script kiddie if you use code a lot, because generally gets used for one-offs, a quick script, Python, JavaScript, you know. I did a lot of C++ in Studio. This is also not an option in code. Yeah, that's about all I have to say.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I try to, if everybody give me just a second. Thank you very much, Michael. I look at having you as a blessing in the a team. So let me just show you a few things, and I try to. So there we go. Can you see my screen, everybody? Okay. Actually, I have lots of friends, as you see: Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, all the cheating environments that you can imagine. I have them. And the thing is, I use the free version and I easily finish all the coupon that I have for a day. So I have different browsers, as you see here. So I can just move to the second one to use another ID to continue learning from ChatGPT and from Claude. Claude is okay. And I asked that question from our friends, saying that what are the differences between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? And misspelling, sorry, I should capitalize them. So I fixed it here. So here you see Gemini told us like that. And the beautiful thing about Gemini is whenever you ask something, you can simply say, hey, export to doc, and it's going to provide an environment like words like, and it gives you the answer. And you can just simply download that, right? So you ask, and you say that, hey, can you please download it in the Word document format for me, or PDF or something? It's as beautiful as this, right? Okay. Guys, is it clear how I used Gemini so far? If you could follow, I just asked our friend Gemini to explain the differences between these two. And the good thing is the class is recorded. If you missed any part, you can see which one I pressed to have that. I don't remember. Maybe this one, maybe this one. Oh, yes. Hey, come on, I am broke. I can't go for anything but free, right? So yes, it is free. All the things that I'm gonna tell you, from the books, applications, they're all free. So click on this one and it's going to tell you export to docs, and it's going to provide something like that for you. Okay, so how about this? Joseph, Pooja, Farhina, please just search something. Please just search something, and whatever you like to, and then please just export it as a document in Gemini. You can ask the same question: what are the differences between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? And export it as docx. And guys, our journey is just started. We have lots of fun things that we can do. Okay. Take your time. Gemini. Whoever could finish, please type 2. Pooja, what do you mean by that? Open the mic, please, and start saying.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank God I was able to fix my audio issue. I think
Okay.
it happened when I was switched between my headset and my charger. I don't know, there is something wrong with my monitor. When I connect,
Okay.
it just goes
I
off.
can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I think I just want to learn from you. I mean, Gemini and everything, we can do it on our own. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but if you want us to do this, I will do it. That's all I wanted to say.
Pooja, let me tell you one thing, and I'm very much mean about this. I'm very much certain about this. Everybody has their own style of teaching, and I have my own style. And I've been into this business for 30 years.
Okay. Okay, sure. I respect that.
So then please just do what I told you. Okay. How many of you could finish?
Oh, Reza, I have a question. When
Yes,
I was
please.
searching it up on Gemini, I was trying to see if the export option shows up and it doesn't for some reason. Is there something that I need to do beforehand for it to show up?
Well, if you say that's the point, if you click on export docs, it is going to show you something here on the left side, open docs. Do you see this?
Sorry. So before you clicked export, sorry, where did you go again? Oh,
Okay, here it is.
it's just the regular share. Okay, yeah. Export
Uh-huh.
docs. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And then it shows up on
you
the
can
left.
just
Got
click
it.
on that. And
Got
it
it.
is
Got it.
going to be, yeah,
I got it. Thank you.
no worries. Boom up. I do it again. Click here. And then export. And after that, you're going to have something like this here on the left side. And say open docs. Huh? It's going to be the one. And then you can just simply go to file and export it. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing is, let me just see if I can find. Okay. So now everybody go to Claude and do exactly the same thing. Ask the same question. In this one, how many of you have worked with Claude before? If you have worked with Claude, please just type 1. Let me just see. I have missed the chat. Okay, Michael, bravo. Who else? Michael, the list of them, would you please provide a list of AI that you use and your preferences? And I'm going to share something with you as well.
Yeah, so those are the basic ones. The only one I use anymore is Mistral. I hang out in the channel. I talk with a lot of guys. It's kind of my hangout. So all I use anymore is Mistral AI. Aside from my crappy little self models, I don't have enough compute. I have a whole 6 gigs of VRAM, so I can't do anything at all. So I'm stuck to API usage. But yeah, those are the ones that I use the most, and Mistral is what I stick to now.
Mistral. Okay, excellent. So the thing is, guys, if you go to Claude AI, we are just gonna work on a few of them, and there's a reason behind it. Whenever you could finish this one, go to Claude and ask exactly the same question. And whenever you could finish, let's see who could finish with Claude. Then please type 2. Search the same question, ask from Claude, and when you are done, it should show you something like this. Please type 2. Farhina, Joseph, who else? Sean, could you finish that too?
Yeah, I'm trying to access cloud, and it's asking me to sign up.
Sign up using your Gmail or anything. That's the fastest.
Gotcha, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So quickly compare these two. Gemini, you already have. Claude, you try to. Guys, this is not Cloud. This is Claude, like Claudia. Cloud is something different. It's a kind of general service that we can find, but this is Claude, one of the generative AI samples like ChatGPT and so on. Okay, so if you are done with that, ask the same question this time from ChatGPT. Okay, could you see for this specific one, which one is the best in terms of having the detailed information? Okay. Michael, have you ever tried to export anything out of ChatGPT, like converting it to any other format?
No, I actually don't use any of these web-based interfaces. I have a space on Discord and I set up AI with a bot in that so I can ask it stuff if I have to. But I don't use any of these web
Web-based.
UIs. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's just wait for our friends to finish this one, and I have something interesting for everybody. But let's just finish this at the beginning. I want just to practice um, using generative AIs and ask the same question from Grok. It was not free. It's like 10 days or 2 weeks that they turned it to be free. It's part of X, or previously known as Twitter. If you type x.com on the left side, you see that there is Grok. So you can just go there and ask your question and you can see something like this. Okay. So at least I want you to try 3, 4 of these generative AIs. And because we have 4, take your time whenever you could finish asking questions from these 4 environments. Whenever you are done with all of 4, please type 4. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, am I still?
No,
Oh, I am.
no, I'm saying that for the comment that you said, it took me a while to.
Yeah, I'll always be paying attention, even if you can't see my pretty face.
Okay, awesome. So, Ivan, thank you. Who else? Mm-hmm. Comment, merci. Eskin. Who has any struggle and in what part? So I give you time to just try. We have more fours. Meanwhile, I try to ask Michael something. Michael, I was thinking that the best format that we can have is we talk, we do something together in the virtual class. What I really miss in virtual classes compared to the classes that I can see the monitors and so on is the part that I can say, okay, now team up, have a group of 3 or 4 and work on something together. In the virtual environments like this, we don't have that kind of things. I worked in one environment, but it was very much sophisticated that people could go to private rooms and then come back to a kind of class together. You know what I'm talking about. I experienced that, but it was not that much handy and was not very much manageable. So what could be the best uh, environment to make that kind of team up together? For instance, you could have your own team of 3 or 4 and talk about something and bring back the results to the whole class. Do you have any opinion? Or if that is something new to you as well, let's think together and see if we can find something for it.
Options there. I mean, you can use Teams. I'm not sure that our org setup Teams client allows us to add other people. I think it's more for the faculty to reach out to us. So we'd have to use personal ones. There's also Discord. Discord, of course, like very much. I'm very familiar with it. I've been using it for many, many years now. It allows threads. You can have multiple rooms where you're talking about different topics. You can expand on each input that a person gives by opening up threads underneath of it. It helps keep all your data separate and it's very clean. and then you can come back to a main channel and have everybody discussing all together. There's a lot of options. There's voice chat. There's screen share. It's a fantastic platform.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
what I go with.
Excellent. Lovely. We are going to think about, because, at the same time, we don't want to miss our team members that they are inside Zoom. We need something like using phones, so mute ourselves here and just join something and talk and quickly get back so we can hear the instructor's voice when they tell us that, hey, guys, come back to the class, that kind of thing. So I think that, as you mentioned, before Discord, I used Slack. So I went through all of these. We had all these platforms, and Discord is I can tell you, the most sophisticated one. Yeah, you can do lots of things there. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much, Michael. I'm gonna just think about how to apply that. The question that I received was a quick question regarding the version that works for us, would be community, and community is more than enough. The question that I received is Visual Studio. Which version should we use? Community, professional, or enterprise? The others are not free, but the one that we can use and it's more than enough for us is community version. The same applies to a database, for instance, SQL. If you want to start working on, use the basic community version and so on. The next question is Munib saying that just join the class, please just watch the recording after the session. It takes a couple of hours for me to receive the Zoom file, and after that I'm gonna upload it, and then you can just simply watch the part you missed. My suggestion is there is no excuse of Toronto traffic or something, so please try your best to be present on time. The student version is usable with our college login. That's true. And the other thing is, and that's what I wanted to mention. For the first 2-3 weeks, we don't need very much to install Visual Studio, but try your best. Let's have that goal that at the beginning of January, all of us have Visual Studio already installed on our computers. Does that make sense? So that's a kind of long period of time to get prepared and try your best. Ask your friends, whatever, watch some YouTube videos, how to install, search, and then you can just install it. One thing that, let's get back to ChatGPT result. I'm gonna say, please, guys, Canadian version, don't forget to say, please export your answer into an MS Word document or MS Word file. And then let's see what's going to happen. If it says analyzing, it shows that something is happening. So everybody try that with ChatGPT. It takes a while. Okay, and now it's the time to click on this, download documents. And say, different between these two, say save. And the version that it provides for us is not the latest version of the, so you need to do save as, but anyway, I'm going to just make save as and say docx, let's just say underscore v 1.0. And now it is going to show you the latest version of the things. Anyway, apart from it, one of the things that I don't like when it exports like that, do it at your convenience. I just use whatchamacallit, make it bold for those asterisks. Sometimes it gives us hard time, like, anyway, I'm not gonna do it right now. And after that, Control H, guys, you have everything recorded. Double star, replace with none, say replace, all of them. You see, ta-da, we just got rid of all those asterisks and it is done, huh? That kind of thing. And everybody, let's convert it to save as. Let's convert it to PDF. Say save. Kalena, apparently you have overused your chat GPT, and that is why the poor guy said that it is a kind of polite way of saying that you ran out of your voucher.
But on this computer, I only used twice.
Right? Seriously, did you, let's just use the same wording. How about that? Because this is, oh, seriously.
I put in exactly how you put, please export the file, this blah, 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 blah.
You should emphasize more on please part.
And what's the difference between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? I did that too. Exactly the same.
Okay, this is the question that I asked.
Yes.
So open and okay. And this is, okay, don't worry. This is how sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is how we are gonna get, I received a private question. Guys, I would be very, very, very grateful if you don't send private message, because then, yeah, unless that it is something really private. Okay, so did you get my question? No. Let me just, the question that I sent was this, I'm sorry. And the second part is this. So please try exactly the same wording. And let me just quickly read the questions that I said. Klana said this, and Michael, I got the refusal as well. So what are the differences between visual? Okay, so how about this? Is there any change? No worries, Joseph, thank you. Let's just see. It worked for Goma, awesome. Yes, and you can download it, and that should be the result, right? Okay. Let's just spend a few more minutes, make sure that everybody could try. Pooja, can you please just stop for now and just stand back, relax? I had a plan for every single minute and you have already ruined it 2 times. Please just don't ask or don't do anything. Just stand back, relax. I have a plan. Michael, I think that because you mentioned other competitors, it's started feeling jealous, so it doesn't give you the correct answer. Yeah. Okay. So people who could finish making, and there's one thing, and without any, the class is recorded. Pooja, use this recording class. I'm going to upload it. Use this saying that Reza is not useful. The class of Reza is not useful for me. Change my class. By willingly, they are going to do that. Okay, if you think you have all the rights not to think that this is gonna provide any useful content for you, feel free, go and change your class. That is your right. This is my style. Yes, I'm going to just teach you how to use ChatGPT. I quote this. I just teach you how to use ChatGPT. Okay? No, I don't feel bad. I feel horrible. Pooja, I feel horrible. And the reason for that is you have no idea how many times I have taught this subject, how many times. And this is my 31st year of teaching. And I never say that because I don't want people to think that I'm an old guy. But the reality, this is my 31st year of teaching. And I know what I'm doing. I darn know what I'm going and what I'm doing. So please just stay back, relax, and don't type anything and don't say anything. Just say, see what people are doing. Thank you. Okay, guys, those who could finish and convert this to MS Word document, please please type 5, give me a high five. Lovely. And those who like me, like Reza, who couldn't make it till this moment, don't worry. You're not the only person. I couldn't do as well. So the class is recorded. You can later come back and just do the things. Okay? So don't worry at all. But the next step that I want you to do is something. And you are going to use this technique from now on for all the courses. I go to a class. We have a lousy prof. Who's the name? Reza. And I didn't learn even a word from that. I go and use ChatGPT, say that these are the questions that I have. Guess what? And I converted that into what? Guys, do you see this? Please, everybody. Did you see this? I have a Word document. Then I'm going to save it as a PDF document. Everybody, please. Yes, I know that I have. Make it a Word document. Eskin, it is possible to copy and paste it. I'm going to teach you a few different methods. Okay. What our friend said, Control N, let me just open a new. Eskin said, Reza, why are you teasing us? You can simply go up, right? And start dragging and dropping all the way to here, Control C, and then bring it back here, Control V, ta-da, it is even better. The format that you see is slightly different from the time that you ask ChatGPT to export it for you. Does that make sense? But it works the same way. Awesome. Okay, everybody, I expect that many of us, let me just use this one, a new one that who asked, Eskim was kind enough to teach us. I'm going to save this one as a new version. It doesn't matter. New try, let's just call it new try, Word document. Here I have it. Let's say save as. Sorry. Yep. Save a copy as PDF. And let's say, what do I want to do? More options. I'm going to go to the desktop and new try, and let's just say save. Okay, everybody who could convert the thing into PDF, this time, please type 7. Make a PDF out of it. Lovely. Joseph, the first one. Ali is the second. Sean, Michael, Evan, Goma. Merci. Yes, that is another solution. Klena. Awesome. And remember, Klena, it is recorded that you said that you didn't have any background in computer. Look, you're one of the first. Mohammed. Munib. Lovely. Excellent. Guys, are you ready for the next adventure? Let's do some magic out of it. Okay. Click here and guys, what is the thing that we type notes on it? My English is not good. Yes. Notebook. So please type notebook LM language model dot Google. Except our guru, Michael, who for sure knows everything about it.
I do not know everything. What are we getting into Jupyter notebooks here?
No, it's not Jupyter Notebook. It's no. It is Notebook LM. I'm happy that I could find just one thing that you are not.
I'm not aware of this. This is new. This is new.
Okay, so everybody, please, Notebook LM, and sign in into it. And after that, click on Create New. Can you do that? Done. Awesome. So if you say create new, guys, listen to me. Now, do you remember that new try that I created? No matter if new try or the previous PDF that I created, both works the same way. Just click on that, drag and drop it there. And after that, do you see similar thing on your screen? Those friends who left behind, here is the lovely. Do you see that there is a button on the right side saying generate? Huh? Okay. For Reza, who joined the class right now, Notebook LM google.com. You get there, you sign in, and then you say create new. And then you drag and drop it here. Huh? And then you see after a while, it's going to be something like this. Then please press on generate. Click on the right side, click on the generate. If everybody could do that, this time please type 3. And it is going to start working. Huh? Hmm.
You say 7?
7 for what?
I
No,
don't know.
7 was
I thought that was the new number we input
no.
when we got her.
Michael, you lost the game.
Oh,
It was 7 for the previous question, 3 for this one. Click on that, and it's going to take a while. And let's see, Mohammed said this may take a minute. No need to stick around. Yes, no. Hey, Mohammed, we have other things to do, so please stick around. And generate converse. Yeah. Can you repeat it, Hafsa? Yes, by all means. Hafsa, we created a PDF. Could you follow up to that point? Yes or no? Could you generate a PDF file?
No, I can't.
Okay, give me a second, please. Just give me a second. So what I'm gonna do, just to have similar environments, I'm going to, okay, sorry. Let me just close everything. So, okay. Okay, there are friends who couldn't follow exactly the same steps. Let me just see if I can. Found it. Hafsa, can you please confirm you could download this file, please? Joseph, I love that. I do all these things to have those moments that you say, wow.
Yeah, this could have saved me so much time during school. So yeah, I'm gonna be using this now pretty much every day because I go through
I
work
knew it.
and PDF stuff at work. So like this is amazing. Thank you.
No worries, my pleasure. And I have lots of other things to share together just today. So, Hafsa, could you download that? And those friends that they couldn't, okay. So, Hafsa, if you are there, please just say notebookml google.com. Yeah, indeed. So let's just, our friend Reza who left behind, everybody, please just make sure that you are in notebook lm language model.google.com and then log in. You just simply need to log in with your Google account and then say create new. And you are going to drag and drop. And actually, I do exactly the same thing and I have an intention for doing that. So you see, it is Visual Studio here. Hafsa, can you confirm that you could do this? And then please create generate. And then, and the beautiful part is there. So I'm going to tell you what is happening behind the scene. When I get back here, Joseph, can you please tell what is the time that you see here for you?
Well, for me, it's a bit different. It's
Yes.
it's 6 minutes.
Okay, look at this one. Joseph's version is 6 minutes, right? What about Michael's is 16 minutes. Mine is almost 18 minutes. Do you see that? Let me just tell you what is happening behind the scene. It takes the topics that you have. Somebody said 5 minutes, the other one 4 minutes, and so on and so forth, right? Wow. Farhina, 21 minutes. Even in one computer, you're going to see 2 times you run, it is going to give you 2 different times and 2 different dialogues. Now, let me show you part of the cards that I wanted to play for today. Guys, you go to a class and you need to provide a presentation and you have no clue about it. You have no idea. What you're going to do, you just go ask our friends, please provide the content, and then you're going to either convert them all, you're going to just be always the master, you're going to get the information from here and there, put them into one file, make one PDF. And after that, what you're going to do is you ask notebook language model to generate a version for you, and you start listening to it. You do it 2-3 times, you're going to have 3-4 different versions of it. And what is happening is, based on the knowledge that it's going to gather from all the internet, every time it has some different things. And honestly, even for the things that I have taught several times, it gave me some amazing samples that I never thought about before. And it's a kind of dialogue that you can see people have. So this is one way that if I want to have something agile, so I can just make a speech, get ideas and that. And still we have something to do here. Guys, here I said, please provide what? An MS Word file for me. Exactly. I'm going to say, please export your answer into an MS PowerPoint. And if it says analyzing, still you have coupon, and it takes, don't expect very much from the design. It is not the best design that you can think, but those friends that they want to do similar thing, try at your convenience something which is called Gamma. Okay. And look at this one, download the presentation. And I'm going to have that. And the very first thing that you need to do is, after enabling, go to the view and say, you know what, was not in the view, design, sorry. Go to the design and say the slide size should be like this. That's the first step. And guess what, guys? I just had a few clicks and I already have a presentation that has 11 slides. What are the differences between Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code? Right? Getting back to the beginning of the session that I started, guys, if it was 20 years ago, you just looked at the person who is on this side as a kind of oracle. No, not anymore. The knowledge is super vast, and I just know a drop of an ocean. I can just tell you how to learn by yourself. And once in a while, I'm going to coach you. But after this, and let me just get back to this one. You see, this time it gives me, with the same file, 23 minutes. Okay, so we know how to start up. Imagine that now, and it's going to be published. Yesterday, sent that back to the author. I had an interview, and I talked about these parts. I want to tell all these things. Guys, in many places, in many industries, they exactly, it's the way that you can just get the right. Look at this one. This is the traditional way of classes. We have some people that they left behind. Reza is in here, but we have Michael in here, Toby here, and we have the average people that they are in the bell curve. The mastery learning methodology is the way that shifts people way towards right, and people almost they know, like those that they were left behind, they're like the average people in normal classes. But guess what? If we can just have one-on-one tutors, we are going to shift learning from that traditional way into this, that even those that they couldn't make that much in normal classes, they are going to be even more knowledgeable than average people. And normal students, they are going to become exceptional. You see that? So this is why we utilize AI to help us. And I want to continue and tell you one thing. I had a session with a PhD student in McMaster a week ago. People in Sudbury, they call Toronto down south. So I was in down south or in Toronto, and I had a session with that student. She told me that she's a biomedic student and she needs to work on some tissues, and they need to, just take care of them, take sample, and then just use machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms to predict some stuff for drugs and for medicines, because after COVID, people try to cut the number of years that we need to wait to get the final acceptance, right? So that is the whole things that she was dealing with. And the language that she worked with was Python. And she told me that my code works thanks to ChatGPT. But the problem that I face is when I want to do a little bit of change here and there, I cannot, because I do not have the foundation of coding. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is if you don't have the foundation of how to write the code, then one day, one time, like that PhD student, you see that you want to do some stuff and you cannot do it. So that is why my emphasis here is, guys, did you see, once in a while, I'm going to ask you that please go and use ChatGPT. Please go and do the research. Please do this, because they are going to be our nice friends from now on. And my idea about it is, do not look at them as your servant, because they become rebellions if you look at them as your servants. Look at them as your counselors. They are going to enhance your thinking, your thoughts, the way that the smartphone did. You cannot just do meditation and say that outside the weather temperature is like that, right? It enhances your knowledge by saying that this is the temperature for today, tonight, you're going to have a rain, snow, or whatever. Does that make sense? So we need to find an appropriate way to deal with these generative AI and AI in general. That's the whole point. And that is why I'm very much sensitive to make sure that everybody knows, guys, yes, you can dump your questions into ChatGPT and get the answer, but that is not intention of the course. We need to build muscles. It's not like going to gym and see people are dumbling and you think that you are going to get any muscle. That's not how it works. But whenever you stuck into any place, you're going to say, you know what? Dear ChatGPT, can you please tell what I made wrong? leave this, and we are going to have 10-minute break after 2 hours and 20 some minutes that nonstop we talked together. But before going there, I just want to give you one sample and one example. We could have two types of siblings. A brother who is in rush, and whenever you have any questions, said that, okay, I don't have any nerve for just give me the question. This is the answer. Go. This is one approach. That is not a very kind, responsible brother. But imagine that we have a sister or brother, guys, no segregation. We have another sibling. And when you ask questions, say that, okay, come here, sit. What did you understand from the question? How far could you get? What is the part that you feel mistake? And let me help you through that. Do you see the way, the productive way? I told you all these things because these are our friends, but the way that we use them are very much important. And from now on, you are not alone. You have 24/7 personal tutor, and you can just use them from now on. But for not quizzes, not tests, and even if I need to have 2 hours for your midterm, for your test, separately, I'm going to spend that time and I'm going to ask you what you learned. So my suggestion for coding, for exams, and for everything that we have, do not use ChatGPT at all. That's pretty much what I wanted to tell till this moment. But we are going, and the other thing that you see here, I mentioned, I'm going to talk about napkins later, but not now. But there is one cocoa note. Guys, the good, I know that English is my second language. I have accents, so maybe I'm not very much understandable, but the good thing is YouTube can understand it. So after the recording is uploaded, you can just click on that CC button and it's going to show you the subtitle, everything. And the other thing is going to be Cocoa Notes, that you can just have it on your phone and just try it. It is going to capture the things that you hear, you listen, and it's going to convert it to text for you. Does that make sense? So try that later at your convenience. Guys, now it is 11:43. We are going to continue our journey together at 11:53. Thank you. Last minute. Guys, this is the virtual class. You don't need to leave the virtual class when you want to have a break. That's enough to just mute microphone. And yeah. Okay. We are pretty close to, don't worry. If you can hear me clearly before we continue, please type 1. Joseph, thank you, merci. Excellent, Kevin, merci to open. I can see all these beautiful names, also handsome and beautiful faces. Glad that you opened the cam. Thank you, guys. It gives a kind of sense of real class, right? To just see each other. I want to tell you something. Everyone, oh boy, Michael, you have all these tasks to do on today. Munib, it's not mandatory, but it's the best that if you can meet each other. Yeah. Actually, I have the same list of tasks to do. I'm looking to finish the class and then go to take care of all those things. Anyway, everyone, can you do something, please? Let me just, please log into this. Could you do that? Don't worry, Moni, next session, but yeah. And after you get there, please log in, use your credentials like Google account and so on, and you're gonna see something similar to this one. If you can see that, everybody, if you can see that, this time, Michael, this time type 3, not 7. Please type 3. Yay, Sean, Evan, Munib, Koma. Merci. Look at this. Meanwhile, Joseph, thanks, Toby. Awesome. This time, the time that you were out, you remember that I downloaded this from, what do we call it, from ChatGPT, huh? I exported the things into, and I just got here and I said designer, and for every single page, I can just, personally, I prefer minimalist. I just want to use colorful things. And do you remember that it was a kind of very plain presentation? Now it is colorful, and it took, guys, it took just 15 minutes, the whole process. And look at this one. Imagine that for this, I do not very much like just having this part. Or for this one, they are very plain. I want some graphics that makes sense. You might say, what are you talking about, Reza? Guys, do you remember this that we created together? Huh? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop from here, copy, guys, Control C, and I'm going to bring it to that napkins. Look at this. There's a kind of lightning things. If you click on that, it takes a few seconds and it gives you all these graphics that they are mind-blowing. You can just, for instance, say that this one is what I want, or this one. Okay, don't worry. Still, you have more things to select in that style. Do you want it colorful or pale? You can do crazy things with this. Just let your imagination. You want to have it like classified. You want it simple. Just work on it. Enjoy it. And the beautiful part is, after you are done, for instance, imagine that I want this one. I'm gonna say export it, download, and I'm gonna say 01. The best is to have a proper naming, and I'm gonna get back to here and drag and drop that thing that I have created. Ta-da! And I'm going to have lots of guys from now on. If you want to have any presentation, if you want to provide any document, even I get back to the place that I have that, having a plain document like that, it's not going to be that much fun for people to read it. But imagine that you just have something nice, colorful to give soul to your presentation, isn't it? I'm happy. Guys, look, when I can do something that Michael says awesome, well, that's like getting credit from the group. Thank you, Michael. So you had a question, Joseph. The hand is up. Yes, please.
Yes, there's just a very quick question. So napkin.ai is specifically for graphic output, depending on the input of words, basically that you give it.
It exactly does a kind of search through the internet as well to find the idea. It's not only, and that is why it classified it based on the knowledge base that it has and the AI which is supported this one. It goes and find the classification for it using your words, and it's going to show you. Sometimes it's not that much intelligent. You need to say, hey, I don't mean that. Do it
Give
this
more,
way.
yeah.
But in general, that's awesome. You don't need to start from before that. Let me tell you, even at the beginning of this previous semester, what I needed to do is just asking, what do we call it? A Copilot, please create a graphic. And my style is a kind of minimalist style for present. And I didn't like that, but I didn't have any other option, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why this was life-saving for me. Changed all the presentation that I had in the middle of the semester that I found it. And I hope that you can find it interesting as well. And the thing is, I received one question. I'm having an issue. Before I get that, Joseph, did I answer your concern?
Yeah. Basically, the conclusion is as long as it gives visual at the end of it, that's what I was looking for.
Awesome. Yeah. Let me just try one more thing. No worries. Just give me a second, please. Okay. And apart from it, you might say that, how about having just a visualization for that paragraph, not the whole, for instance, and it's going to create something for you just for Visual Studio, not both of them, right? And then look at this magnifier things and look at the colors that you can just change inside it. It's just lots of fun. Anyway, getting back to the question that I received, I'm having an issue, unable to process request due to missing initial state. This may happen if browser session storage is inaccessible or accessibility. Okay. One thing. Yes, Spark, Sketch, multiple. There are things. These are not the main part of the course. These are just something that we just want to have. The first week, guys, what I really don't like is to say that, okay, my name is this, happy to meet you. This is the course book, and see you next week. I'm not that person. So if not later than the time, we are not gonna finish the class sooner. So we are gonna just use every single minute. This is a kind of look at everything that we did today as a kind of fun and teamwork that we wanted to have some fun, right? And if you see that you left behind in any step, please just go to the, what do we call it? To the recording. I'm I told you all the resources, ChatGPT and so on. Try to solve it that way as well. If none of them works, say that, Reza, I couldn't make this part. Let's book an online session together by all means. You can just have one-on-one session. You are going to share your screen and I'm going to see which parts you are missing, which part you cannot do the way that it gives you the answer. And we are going to discover, we are going to learn. I don't know. We are going to debug the problems together. Did I answer that private question? And again, I would be grateful, unless that there is something that you don't want to share with the class. Generally, people are going to learn from your questions. Please share to the whole class. Thank you. The other thing that I want to go through at the moment is continuing our journey. We get to the place I told you that all the resources that you have to learn C# programming. My suggestion, don't wait. Reza is not that much fast. Start your journey. And you might say, Reza, I don't have Visual Studio, but I'm very much eager to start right now. For doing that, I share this link with you. And even if you don't have computer, with your phone on your commute, you can just try this. Look at the beautiful environment that we have. Give me a second, I want to close the door. Okay. Everybody, can you see hello world? Yeah? Okay, lovely. And then say hello world from, let's use the beautiful name, Joseph. Okay, and one exclamation mark. So what should I do next? Here is one button over there, run. If you press that, it's going to say hello world from Joseph. Yay! Guys, from now on, you can write in your resume, I'm expert in C#. Welcome. So, and after that, here, type \n here. I don't know what \n does, but let's try it.
So
Wow.
Reza, if my syntax when I first opened the tool is different than yours, right? Like it's saying using system. Mine says int main, right?
You are in the wrong room, sir. So let me just write back again for you.
Got it.
Don't worry. Okay. I typed the link again. So everybody, please try that. And simply just say hello world from your beautiful name. Just use your name. And then press that button.
And Reza, on the top right, when it says language, if you switch that, that's not the same as the changing the actual URL of the website, right? Okay, that's why.
Yeah, true. So the thing is, what I have already, Joseph, the thing is, this is the online compiler that you can use C, C++, and C# and other stuff as well. And that is why I just said online C#. So we are here. Yeah, okay. But good to know that. And the other thing is, some people might say, you know what, Reza, I don't like the environment. So worry not. Go to the next. I'm going to copy this one for you. So everyone, please try that. And still, for next 6 weeks, for next 4 or 5 weeks, we do not need necessarily having Visual Studio. So don't feel pressure, but try to install it. If you can do it today, perfect. Next week, awesome. But we can just do. Here, the same thing. You see, it says what? Hello world. Let's say from Reza, some exclamation mark. And can anybody show me where the run is? It's not. Where is it?
It's at the top. Yeah, right there.
Thank you very much. Yes, here it is. Everybody, click on that, and you see that the result is going to show here, right? And I'm going to just Control C, Control V it, and say, here is a new line. Actually, a new world. Okay, and let's run it. Yay. So we did that together. And the thing is, why I very much emphasize using, at the end we use, might have been said, but after installing Visual Studio, do you want us to install any extension for it? Okay. Munib, this is the part that I think that you missed. Please watch the video. We talked about the differences between Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio. So when we talk about Visual Studio, you don't need to install any extensions. That's the Visual Studio Code part, right? So please install community version, Visual Studio. Huh? Okay, awesome. And look at this one. If I just say, what is it? Guys, what is wrong with this? Can anybody help me? Sorry, if anybody can catch my mistake, I would be thankful. It just doesn't print new line. I run it and it gives me hard time. I can't understand.
L, first line L should be capital.
Oh, sorry, yeah. This one should be capital. And thank you very much, Pooja. So, guys, what can we understand? Where can we find the recording for? Okay. Let me just answer that later. Guys, what you saw that here I missed, I had L in a small letter, and that gives me a hard time. So what we can understand from this, C# is a kind of case sensitive environment, right? It means that right line with capital W, capital L is different from right line with small. And it's not going to work with small because we haven't defined such a thing. Does that make sense? So we have case-sensitive languages like C, C#, C++, Java, Python, and we have case-insensitive languages like GW Basic, Basic, Visual Basic, and so on and so forth. Okay, if this one is super clear for everybody, type another 5. Give me high five. Merci. Okay. The thing is, I received that question. I would be grateful for the next session that we have together. Guys, for the current situation that I'm new in Sudbury, I have lots of logistic issues, but you saw that I came to the office to have everything set up on time. I would be grateful if you do the same. So if you come on time, then I don't need to repeat. It's not because I get agitated or something. I can repeat it 100 times, but this is not respecting our friends who have been early in the class and they have already received the answer. So repeating that is not going to be very much useful for them. I quickly say that again. The class would be recorded in 2 places. One is on cloud, so you can simply go later and it's gonna stay there for 150 days. But maybe some people plan to continue learning, start from the scratch, review, even after finishing the semester. So I have a YouTube channel. The name is Vista Science Academy, sorry. And I'm going to provide a playlist specifically for this one. And you can just watch it whenever you want. I'm going to upload it today, 2-3 hours after finishing the class. When you go to that YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit like button. Joking apart, did I answer the question? Yeah. Maria? How do we access the cloud? Okay, that's a good question. Let me just bring you here. This is the environment that you have. And if you go to Luminate, and if you click on the course that we have together in the courses, I clicked on Luminate courses, and here's the course that we have together. And on the right side, you have something that is called Books and Tools. And if you click there, you go down and you're going to see there is a Zoom over there. And inside the Zoom, we should have recordings there, right? But cloud recordings, you're going to see them over there. Did I answer that question as well? But I'm going to announce it on the YouTube channel on the announcements pretty soon after finishing the upload, which is going to be 2-3 hours from now. And another thing, guys, we are not going to finish the content for the first assignment. I'm going to start just talking about it a little bit. So that is why you're going to see, based on the flow of the class, don't worry, even if I need to record extra sessions or something, hopefully it never happens. I always manage on time. It just happened once that I asked people to watch 2 hours of videos, and that's because of long weekends and so on and so forth. It almost never happens. But I'm going to cover everything. So that is why you're going to see some shifts from the syllabus and course outline once in a while. And that is why I want to make sure that we are already received all the needed information. Then I define the assignment. Anyway, by saying that, you see here we have even something, how to install Visual Studio, more in depth. Should be. I love it. It actually added these kind of things. And writing your hello world in Visual Studio C#. So this is from basic, if somebody wants to do exactly the same thing here. And the last resource that I want to tell you before I ask you to do some stuff for me is W3 Schools. Everybody, please type W3 Schools C#. Google it for me. And you should see something similar to this. W3 digit, 3 schools. And that's the first link. If you click there, you're going to see nicely, neatly classified all the topics. Yes, Michael. Yes, that's W3 Schools. And this is W3 Schools that I share with everyone, which says C#, and it's going to bring you here. Does that make sense? Guys, do remember that we said hello world a few seconds ago? And here it teaches step by step. Well, it's not going to tell you what is namespace, what is class, what is main here. And I don't know either. We don't need that at the moment. And it says that, okay, static void something. I have forgotten what should be. Let's just cheat. Main. Static void main. And something, hello world. It's going to be console.writeLine, right? And you can just test yourself here in the first program. Or you want to do it, guys. Imagine Reza doesn't have Visual Studio, and I'm going to click there and I press run. It takes a few seconds and it's going to show hello world. Yes, everybody try, say, this is fun, and try it and see it works precisely fine. And I say this is very much fun, and I run it and it gives me error. What? What is missing? Anybody can help this old guy? Guys, I promise to learn for the next session better, but anybody can solve my issue, please? Hafsa. What is
It actually
that?
expects that semicolon, eh?
I can't tell anybody. Guys, still you have time to go to Hub and change your class, saying that Reza even doesn't know that semicolon at the end. You're right. Right? Awesome. Bravo. The good thing about Visual Studio compared to this, it's going to give you kind of intelligent hints, like relevant hints. And you can see the squiggly line. We don't have that. So that is why in the time that I just do this, it's going to show you a squiggly line. And actually, this is good for me now because it gives us a kind of chance to find it ourselves instead of relying on the intelligence of the environment, right? So W3 schools, I can't emphasize more that how amazing this environment is. And it is not only for C#. Imagine that somebody says W3 schools, my bad, and you say Python, for example, you see that exactly we have similar environments. You can learn Python, you can learn JavaScript, you can learn everything that you can imagine. It's a whole university by itself. So don't miss it. Try to use it. And you might say, guys, I received that question once in a while that Reza, among all these programming environments, why C# really? Python is everywhere, right? Why should we go the other way around while we can just enjoy? And I have no answer for that. I'm gonna leave it. Look at this one. It's 1967. Let me just bring you a little bit further because we are going to watch that later too. Okay, you see that Python is on the top. It's the epic. Then JavaScript, then Java, then TypeScript, then C#. Seriously? Guys, this is a question that you're going to receive, right? And people, especially those who have kind of negative in what they say, they're going to say, come on, you're going to learn C#. The world is world of Python. And I want you to have reasonings to say that, well, I know that Python is very good. Actually, guys, don't tell anybody I teach Python this semester as well. But you need to have reasonings to say why C#. What is the logic behind it when everybody goes towards Python? I want you to spend 2-3 minutes, whether I'm gonna just turn off my camera and mic, you can step and talk to each other. And finally, I'm gonna ask you, please give me your thought about why Python. Oh, sorry, that's for the other class. Why C#? I'm gonna mute myself.
What is this a group discussion? Are we discussing or are we just
Mike, can you give us the answer?
Everything's gonna rely on Mike now, eh?
I
I
think
got nothing.
because C# had the same percentage through the whole years. Like if you go like 2023, 2000, 2010, it will be the same percentage. like 8.37 or something. But the other ones are changeable. I don't know.
Scripting is good for, like lightweight things, web-based things, but C# is application based and it's more for the operating system environment. So if you're going to do a lot of web-based, a lot of, all that stuff, you don't need C# because it doesn't really exist there. But every application that you have, like your Java, your Objective-C, all of that can be branched off of C# if you really wanted it to. The conversion is easy. It's simple. Like you want to develop an app on your Android, it has Objective-C, or I think Apple has Objective-C. You design that in C#, it's easy to convert it to an Android app. The problem with how everything is going is that, the Pythons and all that stuff, it's there, but it doesn't really run anything. C#. Everything even the things we're doing right now are built on C#. So the same Zoom we're on right now is built on C#. So that kind of a thing, the things we do in the world is C#. So that's my understanding of it.
I think it's kind of similar to the Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code scenario that we had, right? Like and Michael said they're both very similar. It's just one has a different, or uses a different intermediate language to execute things like you mentioned, the big apps that we use like Zoom, desktop application, games for etc. Sorry, games as an example. And then as ChatGPT tells us here as well, Python is more for ideal scripting, quick scripting as well for best performances. So yeah, I agree with what Kevin said.
Okay, those who are silent. Mohammed, what is your opinion?
Well, my first thought was like I don't have experience about both, but maybe because it's the foundation for many other programming languages,
Mm-hmm.
like a base or a start point. I don't know.
Good. Okay, let me just see. Evan, what is your opinion? I want you, guys, intentionally, I want you to step in and say something about this. There is no wrong or right answer.
I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I don't know. Not much to
Okay.
say.
After Evan, Kalena, how about you? Don't worry, Evan.
Um,
We don't have your mic. I mean, your mic is mute.
oh, sorry. There he goes.
No worries.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think is that Python and JavaScript or Java, they are very popular in nowadays. So like they are for simpler stuff. I'd say C#, it's not as easy to learn, I think. It's not as popular to learn. So it's not as practical, I'd say. So that's why they don't.
It's not as practical.
I don't know, because I don't know C#.
I'm just joking. Hey,
no, it's because like compared to Python, compared to Python and Java, that's
okay,
right? So like, I think just Python and Java just has been like very popular, and C# has not been really at all.
Clement, it's exactly what when we say that you're learning C sharp, those who have no knowledge talk more. That's a kind of rule of thumb. So the first comment that you're going to receive is this: why C sharp? Everybody learns Python. And well, you have two approaches. One is just confront or answer them. And the other, that at my age, I do it, is yes, you are right. Because we have more important things to do instead of just convincing everybody that what is our approach. Anyway, getting back to something totally different from the topic. Guys, how many of you know how to drive manual cars? Please, if you use manual cars, if you know how to drive manual cars, type M. Okay. Lovely. So many of you, almost half of the class. How many of you know how to drive automatic car? Please type A. Excellent. Guys, those who learned manual cars first and then switched to automatic car, was it a kind of tough thing? Just share 30 seconds your experience. Michael,
I got one for this because I spent my entire life driving a stick. Like, anyway, so one day, a buddy of mine, we both have different things, but his vehicle wasn't so great, so he borrowed mine, and I jumped into his car. He had an old Buick Skylark. The thing's just a boat, and I get in, and I, automatically my feet go looking for the clutch, and it was just weird, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, do I just turn the key and I don't have to do anything else? Honestly, like, for as simple as driving an automatic vehicle is, the difference was astounding, and I actually got out and was like, what the hell is going on with this? Do I just do this stuff? And so yeah, I felt a little bit stupid, but I mean, it happened, and it was quite different. So I don't know, maybe I'm just a little slow, but yeah, no, the experience was well, I still remember it. That was like 20 years ago. And yes, I'm an old bastard.
I know what you're saying. Exactly, that happened to me almost the same time, that I had a kind of old crappy car, and then my sister wanted to go to airport, so wanted someone to drive her, and then I used her car and I drive, and exactly after I got back, I I put my car for sale. I was like, I'm not gonna drive my car anymore. And exactly that is something that happened. The point is, guys, driving manual car, it's exactly like learning one of these languages like C sharp, C++, C, Java, one of these languages. You can feel what is happening. You press clutch and then you change the gear to one, something is changing there. You see, you feel that is practically near to the nature of the car, the vehicle. But the thing is, in Python, it is like automatic. You don't see many of the things. You just press the button and then just drive reverse, and that's the maximum thing that you do. So if you want to know what is really engineering and computer software engineering, you need to start with one of those languages in C family, whether it is C sharp, C, C++, or Java. They are pretty close to each other. Actually, for instance, C sharp is a kind of response of the Microsoft to the demand of Java to say that, hey, we have something better, come here. And they try to mimic many of the functionalities that we have in Java, for example. Long story short, this is the true way and the correct way of learning languages, right? And so that is why, guys, for typing the code, two things are correct, Michael. There are two things forbidden: learning Python at the same time and using ChatGPT or language models like that. So please avoid those things, at least for the first semester, because when we finish this, you're going to see most of the things that you spent quite a while to do some stuff. It's just one line of code in Python. You know what I'm saying? And exactly that is why that PhD student told me that I don't know what is happening and I want to do some changes. And I was like, you know what? The best that I can advise is just get yourself into one of my Python classes. Let's start from the scratch. So you are on the right path. This is driving manual car. You're going to love when you switch to other languages. And there is one important thing. Guys, if you know how to drive, you can drive Toyota, you can drive Mercedes, you can drive Maserati, all the cars. It's just a matter of switching for a little bit, seeing what are the sensors and what are the keys, and it takes 10, 15 minutes. Exactly if you know how to type the code, this is all matters. You can switch from one language to the other one. It's not going to take that much time. We have variables here and there, we have loops here and there, we have conditions here and there, and they are pretty similar. And many a time when I teach, for instance, for 2 semesters Python, honestly, I forget many things about C#, and I just Google that, okay, the simple method format, and I get one example, I just tweak it, change it, and I start working. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, the last thing that I want to do, and this is a kind of a group project, so please find your team members. One of the things that you can use is as our team members suggested is Discord team or anything, or if you want to do it individually. Guys, I always have problem. I hear about SQL, I hear about, yeah, or Telegram, create a group. The good thing about Telegram, it's like never ending Dropbox. You can drag and drop. The limit file size is 1.5 gigabytes. Guys, not like 40 some in WhatsApp. It is 1.5 gigabyte. Can you imagine? Telegram, and you can create group. The other good thing is, for instance, I don't want to reveal my contact. I have ID. I share my ID. It's like giving email address to someone else. So people can just be in touch using the ID. And simply later, if you don't want anybody have access, you can change your ID. Anyway, in any form of group or individual, what I want you to do, please help me to classify computer stuff. Like I heard about hardware, I know what it is. I think at least I know software. I know we have, what do we call the things that Windows is what? Michael, can you help me? Operating system, lovely, yeah. Thank you, Moni. It shows that we have lots of engineers undercover. Okay, so what else? We have antiviruses. What is the famous antivirus? Toby, can you help me? If I say my choice, you're gonna guess my age. Norton antivirus. And then
Why? Why would you use that? Norton is so intensive. It's so heavy. Oh my, really, Norton? Like, oh.
I told you I'm not gonna say. I heard it from my grandfather. So we have Mac Coffee, and honestly, we don't need to. But I don't know how to classify. And we have C#, Java. What I want you to do at the moment, and where's the Excel, for example? What is the Word? The classification of all this does not make sense. I want someone to classify them. And one of the ways that you can share here even is something like that. Guys, I'm just fabricating. To say A, and then here say A contains A1 and A2 to show the hierarchy, and B that contains B1, and imagine that it has B11. Okay, could I give you some ideas how to share with your friends? For instance, let me just do one thing. And I didn't have time to just work on that. So I want you please to classify. Let me just say paint. There we go. If you're a fan of paint, you can just say these two, for instance, computer, sorry. And here I'm gonna just say software, and here I'm gonna say hardware. And I want you to spend 10 minutes and create something. And I feel that Joseph is volunteer to start.
Sure.
So after 10 minutes, and you can team up with anyone that you like. So guys, 12:30, 47 is the time that you're gonna present your version of classification, computer classification.
All righty. So overall, we're classifying the components of a computer, right? But you want it visually as well.
Well, that's a good question. I repeat my question, guys. We have computers, huh? We try to classify. So computer is divided into two parts. We know that, software and hardware. And I want to have a kind of clear definition what the hardware is, what the software is, and give me some examples. And apart from that, the software is divided into how many categories? Where are the languages like C#, operating systems, antiviruses, Excel, Word? You know, it's like for me, in my brain, Ivan, you asked that. It is like having a bunch of books and put them all in one shelf. If you have just only 10 books, that is fine. But what if you have 1 million, like Toronto, that's the that's the library center. I think that it's in Yonge and I've forgotten Spadina, no, Yonge, and it has millions of books, right? Near Bloor down. Oh boy, I've forgotten. It's just a few months that I'm not there. So there's a kind of huge library, and if you go there and say that, hey, I'm searching for a book about Second World War, you can't just go there and start randomly pick the books to find it. You need to have a kind of taxonomy classification where you can find the book. I need something similar for computers. Could I explain what I want?
Yeah.
Munib, you can just take a snapshot or do or whatever and tell me. I'm going to make you co-host and you can share for people as well. How about that?
So we're talking about like the flow from a user hitting or application, no, application to OS to hardware. Yeah, something like that.
True, yes. And just sorry, I was busy to make sure that everybody can share their screen for any reason if they want. So can you please, Michael, confirm that you have co-host? And I'm going to unshare my screen for a sec. Okay. Anyone who wants to step in, there is an arrow that's like green arrow, so you can simply click on that. Okay, bravo, Michael. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. Michael, you're muted. Do you want to start explaining?
You want me to start explaining?
If you like.
Okay. Understanding hardware and software. So we are talking about. Oh, I wonder if we can. Let's see. Sorry, unprepared. Oh, you son of a gun. Oh, I have
How about
way
this?
too
Don't
many
worry.
windows open.
Don't
I
worry.
have so many,
Michael, how about
so many
this? Can
things
you
open.
please my apologies. Can you please
No
quickly
worries.
go through the slides that you provided?
The slides that I provided.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one. I mean, next slide.
I must have missed something here.
Is this only one slide? I saw that you have several slides after that for understanding hardware and software.
That's not my screen.
Oh, who's this screen? Sorry, it's Goma. My apologies.
I was
I
like,
just- I'm sorry. I thought that that's you. Okay, Goma, can you please go to the next slide? Yes, that's the, Okay, go to the next. Go to the next. Okay, awesome. That is one way of taxonomy, classification. And the other thing that we can, is there anybody else who, can you unshare your screen now? Please click on that, stop sharing. Lovely, thank you. Is there anybody else who has something like a tree view that shows the classification?
Now, are we talking about computer classification or the architecture? As in the
Hardware,
flow of
software,
the
insight. Yeah, you were saying, sorry.
so like the flow from like the user to the application to the operating system to your hardware and then back through. Or do you mean like micro server, super?
Actually, that one is a little bit beyond me. I mean, beyond my knowledge. And that is why I just want a very simple version, right? Just like what are inside software and so on. I hope that nobody sees my screen till this moment. Nobody sees my screen, right?
I can see a PowerPoint.
We can see it.
You can see it?
Yes.
Yeah, programming
Yeah.
on
Oh
COMP
boy,
100.
program. You shouldn't. Let me just share why it is like that. Okay, share screen number 2. and share. Guys, can you see your beautiful, handsome names and so on and so forth, right?
No, we're looking at
I still
programming
see
one still.
yeah.
Still. Okay, so what I can do, I need to fix that issue. So I'm going to just make it as wide as I can. So everybody can see that programming one, comp 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So what I overheard, and I tried to quickly come up with the summation of all ideas, like what Joseph said, what Goma provided, what Michael, and I get to this slide, something like this. Okay, let me quickly tell you. So computer, we all know that, is divided into two parts, hardware and software. Question, hardware, people say they are the parts that we can touch. Can anybody give some examples? Type your examples for hardware on the chat, please. Evan, what are the hardware components that you know? Mouse, screen, power supply. Lovely. Keyboard, monitor, GPU. Wow. Gamers are gonna show up. So projector, SSD, VGA. Okay, I don't see some of the answers here and there. So Maria, what is your answer? Mohammed? Okay, Ali, printer, RAM. What is RAM? Router, okay. What is RAM? Random access memory. Awesome. Okay, good. Lovely. Okay. And I heard somebody said ROM, R-O-M. What is that one? Read-only memory. Lovely. Okay, excellent. So these are the components, these are the hardware that we see. But software are the things that we use to make the hardware work, right? Huh? So I can say that, guys, please just let me know. Can I say my body is like hardware? Please say true or false, T or F. And if I open and take the brain out, that is going to be the software. True or false for this one? Is it true? My brain is going to be the software. True or false? Excellent. Correct answer. Yes, it is still hardware because you can touch it. It's a physical thing, right? So it is like CPU in the computer, central processing unit. But the thoughts that you have, guys, the thoughts that you have inside the brain is going to be software. Does that make sense? If you can relate to that, give me another high five. Type 5. Merci. Bravo. Excellent. Okay, now let's go to the software. Software is divided. Guys, I know that some people, if I say that, oh no, the most important software is BIOS. Oh, just say one of them. Software is divided into two parts, system software, applications, and one of the most important system software is called operating system, right? Okay, ask our friend. This is the place that you can ask our friend. What could be the role, a personal role? Like, is it going to be a farmer? Is it going to be, I don't know, dentist or what? If operating system wanted to be a person, what could be the closest person that can do the job of operating system? Ask our friend. I want you to find analogy. Sean, bravo, manager. What else? Some people, if you ask our friend, is going to say something manager. Okay. Hafsa, what is your opinion? Task manager, a specialist. No, specialist, specialist. It sounds like a doctor kind of thing, right? Okay, guys, now I want you, whatever you think, please just write it there. What are the responsibilities of a manager? Ordering, come late, leave early. Lovely, Michael. Michael Grew. Guys, I'm looking at the answers. To manage people, resources. Lovely, Ivan. It's a while that, Klena, I haven't heard anything. I haven't read running the place. Lovely, yeah. Workflow. Guys, everybody, please, whatever. Okay, let me just classify what I learned from you. A manager, a good manager, is the one that when they come to a place, first, they are going to recognize the whole resources. So identifying the resources that we have, that's the first. Please write it somewhere. Identifying the resources. Right? That's the first step. Kevin, what could be the second step? The second step is going to be assigning those resources to a project, right? So recognizing the resources, assigning, and when the project is done, the last phase is what? Is releasing the resources. You're not going to say, you know what, guys, thank you very much. We have done one project, so bring back home whatever the resources that you used for the project. You're going to use it for the next project. Does that make sense? Yes. Mohammed, thank you. First, identifying the resources. Second, assigning the resources to projects. Third, releasing them when you are done. So let's have a kind of real example here. Guys, whenever you want to watch a video like YouTube, the graphic card, part of RAM, part of CPU, everything is going to be allocated to run that for you. You're going to finish that and you want to start playing a music or playing a game, right? The same graphic card, now it's going to work for you to run that game, huh? And the RAM is going to be now ready for you to load the game for you. Does that make sense? Everybody, if you could relate to that. And yes, Kevin, thank you very much. Assigning the resources. And when you are done, when you finish playing the game, computer shouldn't say that, you know what, you use all the resources. Thank you, goodbye. Hey, come on. I want to do something else. Then after finishing the task, it should release, right? So what is number 3? Yes, Sean, release the resources when you are done. So now it's the time to tell me what are the operating systems that you're familiar with. Please, go ahead. Windows, lovely. What else? Linux, merci Ali. Windows, comma, yeah, Windows, Linux, Android, Ubuntu. Okay. iOS, Apple, Klena. Why Apple? I'm just teasing you. I always have that kind of discussion with my friends. They say, Reza, when are you gonna buy your first Apple? So we are 2 groups, Windows guys, Android guys, Apple guys. Awesome, Apple. Lovely. Listen to me. The operating system started since the dawn of time, the time that we had computer, we needed a manager for it. But let me give you one quick story, and that's a nice story. In 1960s, 1970s, in the Bell company, there was this one guy. The name is Dennis Ritchie. Michael, for sure you know Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie, is famous for two things. He had, back then, he was a young talent, wanted to implement lots of things. Bell, back then, they worked on a project named Multi-X to run on supercomputers. Supercomputers, a huge, bulky computer like a building by itself. Now, those supercomputers are less powerful than your phone that you have on your pocket. He worked in that company, in that project, and went to the manager saying that, hey, I have these dope ideas. I want you to, implement them, and said, hey, go back to your work. So he had two options: to get upset and quit the job, or to make something out of that situation. And guess what happened? He started working on a project by himself. And because that was just a solo work, he called it, guys, called it UniX. And now everybody could say that, hey, there is no sign of multi-X, but everybody knows Unix. And guess what? Linux is one of the subsidiaries, the precedents of Unix. So they created the Linux out of it. And in Linux, we have Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, and we have the portable versions that Android is, and so on and so forth. Can you imagine that one person can change the whole? Yeah. And true, Michael. Yeah. So now we know the operating systems. In 1995, we had the first Windows operating system. Before that, we had the text on computers, text-based operating systems. They call it MS-DOS. We had DR-DOS, other kind of operating systems as well. So Microsoft Disk Operating System, MS-DOS. So in 1995, we had the first version of the operating system called Windows, which tried to mimic some of the features that we had in Linux, like memory management and so on, having the virtual memory. That was the first time that they used it, and graphical user interface and so on. Yeah. At the same time, we had Mac OS, Visual, and so on. Let's just, I can, that's interesting topic. I can go through more details, but let's just understand that the time that you press the button, operating system tries to manage your computer, and it takes a few minutes, few seconds sometimes to get there. And now your computer is ready. What is the next step, guys? When the computer is ready, you need to make it nice, neat, clean, without any virus, and with high performance. That is not per se the operating system's responsibility. It's like a manager, that could be a nice manager that mops the floor, but that's not the responsibility of the manager. They should outsource it to some companies to just take care of those kind of things. Does that make sense? So the real responsibility of manager is something, cleaning, taking care of the viruses is something different. You might say, Reza, Windows does all those things. Yes, Windows does many things, but the real core is not taking care of the viruses. So that is why utilities are that part, taking care of viruses, having the higher performance in your hardware. They are all under the category of utilities. So I want you to, whatever you learned from utilities and examples of utilities, please write one sentence in the chat part, please. What are utilities? Application software. We can categorize them into application. Intentionally, I just place them as, type of software to help the OS runs without issues. Lovely, Mohammed. Very professional. Joseph says, utilities, we can call them software applications made to perform managing, maintaining. That's the best word that we can use. Maintaining and controlling computers resource. Technically maintaining. That's what I want to stick to. That's the best word to say. Utilities are there to make the computer up and running after the operating system does the basic jobs for us. Applications such as Kaspersky, antivirus, text. I used part of that, Michael, into application, but the best part that I can borrow from you is applications like Kaspersky. That's amazing. I used for a while Avast. I don't know if you use that. That was kind of, yeah. He was friend with viruses. They didn't tease each other very much, but it was like, well, we had lots of those kind of things. Or for instance, disk diagnose. Do you remember using disk diagnose kind of things to find the bad sectors and block them? So yeah, so those are the things that we can consider as the utilities. Yeah, excellent. So specialized program designed to help maintain. Yeah, guys, you rock. Awesome. I very much like all the answers. The fragmenters, disk defragment. I remember that it took a while. We just watched it one day. Yeah, so they're all utilities, guys. You have computer up and running, maintained with utilities, thanks to your definition. And now you want to communicate. Guys, what we use to communicate? Human, what we use to communicate? Tell me. Voice. Perfect. Speech. Michael wants to tease us. Okay, exactly. Languages. Languages is a media it's a medium to communicate with the others. Guys, let me show you one of my talents. Yes. Where is it? Don't. Okay, finally. Okay. Guys, let me ask you one question. Two conditions. Which one do you prefer? Imagine that we have, oh, where did you go? We have a heavy, bulky gaming computer, huge tower. Forgive me if it is not that much. And this is mechanical keyboard. Okay, you have this heavy, it is 100 lb, 50 kilogram. And we have a nice gentleman.
Professor, sorry to cut you off, but I'm only seeing the programming 01 slide. I'm not sure if you're trying to see something.
Oh, you don't see this. Okay, unshare. Guys, everybody, can you see now the gentleman?
Yeah,
I was,
with the computer.
I was in the middle of creating the creation. Okay.
Man, you got some skills. I gotta say, that's pretty awesome.
Thank you very much. Okay, so imagine that we have these two, and guys, I insist to complete my, sorry. Yeah, complete my. And this happy guy is here, and this happy guy is here too. So computer and human. Just let's give some here. Okay, which one do you prefer? Guys, you have just one choice. A, to ask this man to be on top of computer, or this bulky 50 kilograms, 100 lb on top of this poor guy. Which one do you prefer? One or two? Just type your choice. Guys, those who say two, do you know how expensive your neck is? It is like 100 times any gaming laptop. So, okay, always remember this masterpiece that this guy, it doesn't justify to put heavy computer on your head. Guys, always remember this. A guy is on top of the computer. Everybody sees that. If you agree with this, please type 5. I have a point on that. Okay. Look, languages who are close to human are high-level languages. Languages that are close to computer are low-level languages. Always remember, human is on top of computer. Yay, we are. So, is it clear? Please write it somewhere for yourself. Languages that are close to human are high-level languages, and languages that are close to computer languages are low-level languages. Okay? Getting back to this slide, can you see this slide?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, awesome. So we see that we have low-level languages. What are the low-level languages? They are something like this. Okay, for instance, you tell computer that 010110001, and computer is going to reply 0011, and I'm going to say 110. Okay, so the problem is it is hard to understand for us. It is just 0 and 1s, hard to learn, hard to type, hard to debug, but computer enjoys it. It's going to be fast for computer. It's going to run it like no other languages. So pros, high performance for computers. Cons, hard to learn, hard to debug, hard to write program, right? So we call it, as Michael helped me, we call it binary languages. And we have, what is the famous low-level language that we use to write operating systems and so on? Low-level languages. Anybody knows? Lovely, Michael. Yes. Assembly. Lovely, Sean. Thank you. Yes, we have lots of awesome people. Guys, one of the low-level languages that we know is assembly, of binary, hex, oct, you might say. There are tons of them. But what if you want to bring computer to the crowd, to the society? We need something that people can relate to. Getting back to this one, we need something like this, high-level languages. Anybody remembers the very first famous high-level language? Close, but okay.
Oh, wait,
Guys,
are you talking like basic, quick basic? Or is that too far back?
I forget. I just remember something like formula something. I forgot. Just ask our friend. What was the?
Oh, Fortran, yeah.
Yes, lovely. You said it. It's formula translation. Fortran. Yeah. So Fortran was one of the first famous languages, and after a while, we had some other guys. For instance, in 1967, 69, I guess, Pascal came to this world, and it was pretty famous, and people used it for decades. It was high-level language as well. And then, what are the pros and cons? Let's get back to this picture. So if we have something which is easy for us to understand, it's not easy for computer to understand. So what do we call it? The performance is not that much high in high-level languages like Pascal, BASIC, and so on, Fortran. We needed something in the middle that has kind of pros of those sides and less cons of either sides. And it comes to languages like Ada and C, and they came to this in 1970 something. You see that C is a middle level language, while C++ is high level. So C and Ada is named to honor the presence of Lady Ada Lovelace as the first programmer. So they called it Ada, and it is another middle level language. Let's get back to the painting here. So we have C and we have Ada. I just quickly fast forward. Guys, everybody could relate to that. Languages close to computer, low-level languages like assembly, binary, languages close to us like Fortran, BASIC, Pascal, and we needed something in the middle. So C, father of Java, C++, C#, and Ada, they were middle-level languages, tries to have a kind of compromise pros of both sides. But when Windows 1995 came to the market, let me just, before getting there, saying you one thing. Michael, can you imagine the gentleman, Dennis Ritchie, was the inventor of C language. Can you imagine? That person was just awesome. So he had a role in C as well. So 13 floppies for tell me about it. And in 1995, we had visual environments, and that was the first time that we had visual languages like Visual Basic. After that, we had Visual Pascal, that they call it Delphi, and so on and so forth. And C# belongs to this place. Let me just get back to here. Guys, do you see this? So C# belongs to this, that we call it super high level, or some people call it 4GT, or fourth generation technology. So languages like C# and Java, they are in that category, 4GT or super high level. Let me ask you one question. Those who are not familiar with, like me, with programming, don't worry, it's not a big deal. Just tell me, those who know, if I say I is equal to 10, anybody? And in semicolon at the end, don't forget, Reza. I plus plus. And then I say console write line I. Imagine that this is I. So what's lovely? Guys, what is plus plus? Means add 1 into it, okay? Add 1. I don't know programming. I just learned from you. You said that whatever the number is, add 1 into it. Everybody agree? Everybody agree? So, and guys, we are going to have tons of samples. Just, okay, people who are new in programming. Plana, is it acceptable if we say I is equal to 10, I plus plus means I is equal to 11? Is it clear? 100%? No? Okay. So, Mohammed, Klena, imagine that I have a plate. Guys, sorry, I want to make sure. We are going to have 5 more minutes. I'm sorry, my apologies. I'm going to keep you for 5 extra minutes, but I want to make sure that everybody is in the same page. Imagine that you go to the Starbucks, they write your name on the cup and they, for instance, they say Reza, okay? Instead of coffee, inside there, I have 10. 10 could be anything. 10 cookies and so on. How many cookies do I have in cup called Reza? 10. Okay? Kalena, is it clear? Mohammed? Okay. Guys, hey, come on. I'm super hungry. 10 is not enough. I go back and say, add one more, please. Kalena, is it clear? Add one more. Forget about programming.
Yes.
So, okay. What do we have inside COP now?
11.
11, lovely. So you are dealing with computer. Imagine that the guy there is a robot. You have to say I++. In the translation,
so plus
you got it?
means 1.
Yes, means add 1 into it, right? You're not dealing with normal waiter or waitress. That guy is a robot, so you have to say I++. Say okay, and put 1 cookie for you.
But it has
Does
to
that
be
make
a
sense?
double. Yes, but it has to be a double plus, right?
Double plus, yes,
Okay.
it has to be.
Okay.
That's how they understand. Does that make sense? Okay, I want to tell you this, guys. We had C program, right? And after that, we had an advanced version of it. People said object-oriented. I don't know anything about it, just for now. And they call it C++. What does it mean? Means it has something more than. Let me just bring you guys here so I can just look at you instead of. Does that make sense, Kalena? So it means whatever C was, we have something more. It's a kind of figurative thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Awesome. So now I asked Joseph, one of the favorites. I said one of the, not to make, yeah. So we have C#, right? Guys, everybody?
Yep.
We have C#. Now I use this. It doesn't work. Why? So yes, I use this eraser. Guys, can you see it? C# means C++++, means two donuts in my cup. Means something beyond C++. It's a nice thing, right? This is one way. The other way, I know that Michael said, Reza, you're hiding something. You don't tell us the whole truth. Yes, you are right, Michael. Let me show you. This is what I told you, and this is another one. Guys, those who play piano, this is C and this is C#, something beyond C. This is the second analogy for that. Does that make sense? So this is the question that I received. Reza, where that C# has come from. Now you have the reasons to tell. We learned C#, why not Python, and where the name has come from. By saying that, the last thing that I want to add in this slide is we just covered this part. But do you think that, please type yes or no. It's 21, I know I asked permission. Anybody who wants to leave, please don't hesitate, but just 4 more minutes. What are applications? I'm asking you, imagine that, Goma, you want to draw a plan, architectural plan. Do you think that you need to learn C# or C to draw a plan? Is it logical? I don't think so. You have to go to lots of classes just to draw one line. Okay, Kevin, do you think that to type a letter, do you need to learn language programming? Is it logical?
No, there's no use learning a language program to type. Yeah, it's just a keyboard.
Exactly. So the applications are the result of the marriage of the computer engineers and, for instance, architects. They made something like computer automated design, computer aided AutoCAD, automatic computer aided design, or AutoCAD. AutoCAD is just an application you can just draw plans for. You don't need to learn C, C#, and so on. Does that make sense? For typing, you don't need to know C, C Sharp, C++, you just use MS Word or similar applications. For accountant, you use Excel. You don't need to, I mean, just know everything is super clear. If it is clear, please type the last high five, type 5. I hope, excellent, thank you. Let's just quickly say today we started together sharing the resources that we need for this semester. After that, we had a quick workshop together utilizing the generative AI, and we got the best that we could out of it. After that, we tried to even make some podcasts, some visual presentations using generative AI as well. But when we are done with that, we started using online compilers. We finished that online compilers by typing hello world, and then we get to classification of computer topics, and we finish this next week. And I have no clue what it is, but we are going to learn what algorithms are. Just search where the word algorithm has come from. Is it a Greek word? Is it what? And we are going to continue our journey. We are going to make our first flowchart, and then we have 2-column, 3-column kind of things. Let me just read them, study them, and then I'm going to bring them to you. For this week, we don't have any specific thing, but the major task that we need to do is go and find problems and try to find solution using simple things. One suggestion, Kevin, write one single paragraph using C#, the compilers that we have learned. That's pretty much it. Before I wrap up the class, Joseph had a question, please.
So Reza, I wanted to ask for next week's assignment, right? If we just read chapter 1 of the textbook, is that sufficient enough for us to be able to do the assignment?
Okay, that's a very valid question. Assignment that is designed for week number 1, we are going to shift it 1 more week.
Okay, got it.
We haven't learned it. So for next week, and I'm going to type that, thank you for asking. So no assignment, but I have one volunteer job to do. I'm just writing 1 paragraph on the screen using C#, any compiler, any online compiler. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay. But aside from that, like, I know it's for next week, but if I wanted to do it a bit early, because like I have a busy schedule with work and stuff like that, if I did read the actual chapter, would it help me with the assignment just in general? Okay.
Yes.
That's
and
what I want.
Apart from it, you have you can see that here. For those friends, that's a very valid question. If you go there, you see that we have week 1, the week 2, and week 3, and so on. So you can go there and watch the video that Narendra was kind enough to provide for us, and it covers the whole thing. My apologies for the first week. I'm always that's slow. I try to make sure that we are all on the same page and just do all the things. Thank you very much for your patience. Is there any other concern questions? Thank you, and have a wonderful one, and see you everyone next week.
Thank you, Reza. Have a good one. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.